There you go.
Are you? Hi, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of Too Opinionated, where today we have actress Alexa Shackelford. No, Alexa, turn off.
See, I told you should have practiced.
No, that was a joke because I'm hilarious.
Oh, my gosh. You are pretty good. Alexa, welcome, and thank you for coming.
Never
on
heard
the
that
show.
joke before.
Yeah, she went off. I'm
I was here first before the Amazon Echo.
That's right. You could probably sue.
I should. Hard times right now.
Well, maybe you could use that. What?
I said back off. It's my turn. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay. Go ahead, Dad.
That's what you stopped me for?
Yeah.
I was just going to say maybe you could, that could be a fallback. You could be a stand-in Alexa.
That's the trajectory of my career. Seeing it. All right.
If they can do The Simpsons for 30 years, I'm sure you could do that.
Yeah. I would do that gig. Nobody would want to hear me saying, the weather in or whatever the question is. But
it sounds like a sweet gig. It'd be pretty good paying.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
You just don't have any shame. You would do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably true.
It is.
Probably true. Well, Alexa, thank you for coming on the program. And, let us, are you all right?
The program?
What would you call it?
The show, Dad.
Thank you for coming on the show. Give our listeners and our viewers a little bit of background and tell us how you got into the entertainment business.
Okay, well, I started out behind the camera. So since high school, I've been doing film production, kind of making my own little movies. And then in college, I decided to take some acting classes because I wanted to be a better director. And then I took classes, and then that was it. This light switch went off in my brain. I was like, what have I been doing all this time? Like, and then that was it. And there was no going back from there. So that's kind of how I ended up in acting. But I still write and direct and do all that too.
That's kind of interesting because it's usually the other way around.
I know. I'm an anomaly where I started out behind the camera and then.
Well, and I saw you've done a lot of different things. You did script supervisor, and you've worked the boom, and
yeah. That's all my production experience. So
yeah, that's really cool. Has that helped when you stepped in front of the camera?
Oh, absolutely. I'm really comfortable on set, and and it really helps with the technical side of knowing where the camera is. If it's a close up, then you give a little more in the close-ups and in the wides, and I think it's just stuff that I had a leg up on than other people that hadn't even been on set, and they don't know how to how framing works and editing, and I think it really helped.
Yeah, I could see that. Do you catch yourself not directing? Like you're like, that's not how you do that.
I do sometimes. Sometimes I have to remember, like, I'm not the director and I have to stay in my cage. And sometimes, but I feel like it's always a healthy dialogue to talk to the director as well,
right?
Without overstepping. It's always good to have a healthy, creative dialogue.
Yeah, so, yeah. Well, as long as you don't
usually in pre-production though, not when it's like I feel like before you're on set.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
Like on set.
Yeah, you don't want to do that on set.
No. Absolutely not.
Are you having a hard time watching TV now? Now, because I know that I do. I have a hard time watching TV shows because it's like, well, that's not, what's the word? Screw that. But I just have a hard time just watching shows now. So
yeah. No, I've noticed that as I've gotten a little older too. I'm definitely very picky with the shows that I pick to watch.
That's good to know. That's not just me. What's the one I'm thinking of when a shot matches continuity?
Oh my God, yeah. And I've done script supervising, so continuity drives me crazy, especially when it's like the hair and.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Luckily with Dad, that's not a problem.
No.
It was crazy. I watched Sex in the City yesterday because quarantine, so why not? And I was watching a scene and the guy had glasses on, and the next scene he didn't have glasses, and then he had glasses again in the next one. And this was like an HBO show, and I was like, "Wait, what? How did someone let that happen?"
See, well, then there's moments like Game of Thrones and the Starbucks cup, or Downton Abbey and the water bottle.
Oh yeah, I remember the Game of Thrones Starbucks cup. That was a big deal in that last season.
You guys are ruining TV for me. I never noticed that stuff, and Brett started kind of pointing it out, and then I was watching. What show was it? I can't remember the show, but they were sitting at a table, and the guy knocked over his glass of water, and then the very next scene, the glass was full again. And I never would have noticed that, if Brett hadn't started pointing that crap out and ruining my TV experience.
Yeah, I notice that all the time.
The trick I use is I just start making excuses for them. I'm like, well, obviously the waiter has refilled that and we just didn't see it.
I mean, usually nice, I feel like if I'm really into what's going on, and then I don't see it, but then it's when I watch things repetitively the second time I've seen it.
So how does that? Explain how that happens. Is it different takes, and they're just when they put them together, they're different? I guess it doesn't flow
for continuity.
Yeah. How do those type of mistakes actually occur?
Oh, it's so easy to make those mistakes because you're on set, and then you do a shot, and then you have to reset the shot, and sometimes things just get like there. Yeah. People's hair, if there's wind, it's there's so many things that go on with that. So it's actually super easy. And honestly, I don't think I know of any shows or movies that don't have at least one continuity error.
Right. Well, it's a lot.
I think you focus so much on just the subject of the actual shot that you don't see the background too much.
Yeah. Like I know even me being super picky with continuity stuff, all my short films, when I go into editing, I just want to rip my hair out sometimes. Oh my God, how didn't I see that? There's continuity stuff everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. Like with my movie, I told you this, how I didn't realize someone was in the background. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'll have to deal with that. But what was I going to say? The thing that's kind of ruined shows for me is just side-by-side, shot-by-shot dialogue scenes. Those, I can't stand them now. Because, it's just, all right, go. All right, go. All right, go. It's very, I don't care for
it. When there's too many cuts?
Anyway, thank you for listening.
Oh, no worries.
She asked you a question. Is it when there's too many cuts?
Not kind of, but I just don't like. Dialogue. No, I don't like the camera on one. I don't remember the shot. Camera on one, but then the camera's on the next person talking. I feel like there's a better way of doing that. It bugs me though when I'm watching TV. Yeah, so I guess too many cuts.
Well, I mean, that makes sense with TV though, because you have to shoot really fast. So
yeah,
so it's the more simple way to shoot.
I'm a little embarrassed. I don't remember any of my terminology.
Come on, man.
All this time in quarantine.
I know. Well, it's been at least, 2 semesters since I've had a film class. So
yeah.
Yeah, I had it ingrained in me in film school. I think I had this it was this grip/set book, and we had to take a test on all the definitions of everything. And yeah, and I think I remembered most of the stuff, but that was mostly because I had a teacher that yelled at us a lot. So
there you go.
I loved him, but he was definitely more of a tough love teacher.
What was your first short film about?
My first short film was about a girl who comes from a dysfunctional family, and she pretends that she's in another world to kind of escape what's going on in her real life. And actually, the girl in my first short, she was actually just in Quentin Tarantino's new movie, and I saw
Really?
her. And I was like, "Oh my God, that's Mikey!" I'm so like, I was so happy and proud of her. I couldn't believe she was in a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Was she in the new one?
Yeah,
the
she's
LA
in the new one. She played. Her name's Mikey Madison. She played
Oh,
the
she's on Better
Better
Things.
Things.
I love
Yeah.
that show.
So she was
Yeah.
in my first short. I casted her in my first short, and it was one of the first things she did. So
Yeah, well, good for her. Yeah, she's really good on Better Things. She does a good
yeah,
job.
she was great. She's a great actress. I saw her and I casted her right away. So she played my little sister in my first short I did.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Brett, do you want to tell her what your short was about?
How many times? Yeah.
I love it. I think it's the best idea.
I do. My two friends, they put together a shelf, and one of them gets glued to the shelf, and he can't get unstuck, so he has to live his life as a shelf.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's called Shelf Life, and
I get it.
Yeah, thank you. I won the International Michael Wall Award.
I thought it was so funny because it's a silent movie, and you at the very end of it, you've got the one friend just comes home and he's like he throws his keys, into a bowl or whatever it is. He's coming home, but then it pans over and it's just the other friend as a shelf. He's just accepted his life as a shelf.
How many times are you going to spoil my movie?
Oh, I know.
I love this concept.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it. It's original.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I'm underselling it. It's funny. I'm a proud dad, I guess. I really enjoy
It's not what I have a question in film school. So the short I did was my first short I did on my own, but I did some stuff in film school. And I remember my first semester, we could only make shorts without dialogue.
Yeah,
that's the same. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the best way to learn.
Thanks. Yeah. That's it. I guess you know the trick. That's a shame. I tell people it's silent movies so they know that I'm not a student, but I am a student.
No, I think it's the best way to make movies, and even now, I'm the same way as you, where I try to use as little dialogue as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So to tell a story.
Speaking of dialogue, I've been reading this comic book, and there's a point behind this, but I don't know if you guys know this, but when you read a bad comic book, it physically hurts to read it. Like I know it. It's just rough. So how do you go about just making sure your dialogue's tip top?
For me?
Yeah.
I say it out loud usually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I usually give my scripts space too. And then when I go back to them, I say them out loud and I think, all right, would a real person say this in this situation? Or if it's expositional, or if I'm just saying it to give exposition, then it's probably not necessary.
Do you do table reads sometimes to kind of get the how it feels when other people are reading the dialogue?
Yeah, sometimes I do. But I feel like reading it to myself, it's usually okay. And then that's also why I like having a writing partner, because then we can kind of bounce off each other.
Yeah. So we had Belle Adams on, and I know you've worked with her on a series, Time Being, I believe is the name of it. And I checked that out. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. But talk about that a little bit, the concept behind it and how you guys got together.
Well, we had met on, my sister was doing a pilot, and we met on that because we were playing best friends in the pilot, and she was like, you guys should hang out because and get to know each other. So then we hung out, and then we became really good friends. Yep. And she and I, we were just like, we wanted to make something, so it kind of just came up organically. Yeah.
Where did the idea come from? Because it's kind of unique and quirky, and it's a lot of fun.
I think it came up, honestly, I don't remember. I think it was just a conversation we had about wanting to do tiny little like vignettes of shorts that had nothing to do with each other. And we wanted to do them in very short spurts, like in a minute or so. And that's why we came up with Time Being, because we wanted them to be really short stories. So that was kind of what we wanted to do. And then it kind of evolved into what our style is. And then we kind of did it from there.
Yeah. It was really good. So how did you take? Go ahead, Brett.
Well, the real question is though, how can you stand to be around her? She's great.
Come on.
No,
we had a great time with her. She was the best.
She was.
That was awesome.
She even brought her guitar out.
Yeah, I she was my roommate in LA, so we lived together for the last 2 years.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So we've spent lots of time together.
Right. So you what was the guitar's name? Fishy. You know Fishy the guitar.
I do know Fishy. I've heard Belle play Fishy many a time.
I don't want to brag, but she did answer my Instagram message.
Oh, good. That's good.
I was worried that she wasn't going to.
Nah, of course she would.
Well, it said red, and it was like that for like 3 days. And I was like, oh man, I guess I sucked.
She did not appreciate your interviewing skills.
You know, you told me to drink an energy drink, and I feel like my thoughts are.
Well, if you need to run around the room for a minute, we'll wait.
Okay.
Alexa, how did you take the experience that you gained from Time Being and use that going forward? Have you worked on anything since then?
I have, actually. I'm actually about to finish a short film that I've been spending the last year on, because half of it's animation and half of it's live action. So we finished filming it last year, but it's taken a whole year to do the animation portion of it.
That's cool, though.
Yeah. But honestly, it gave me confidence because, it was Time Being, it was like 6 or 7 episodes, and we did all that on a very shoestring budget. So honestly, it just gave me the confidence to be like, all right, I can do whatever I want. And if anyone says, oh, I don't have the money to do that, it's just an excuse, because I feel like if you have an idea and you want to do something, then you just have to go out and do it.
You just have to do it. Yeah, that's really good. Really good advice. Who's helping you with the animation part?
This great guy. His name is Shane Murray, and I met him through a friend that I knew from UCLA. She gave me a reference because a lot of animators I was talking to were charging a lot of money, and he said he really loved the story, so he wanted to do it for a little less than what he usually does it for, which I was really grateful for.
Yeah, that's awesome. That animation is not it's very time consuming.
It's crazy. We're still working on it. Actually, right before I got on with you, I had an update from him, and he's like, my computer crashed, and it's gonna be like 2 more weeks because we're working on transitions between the live action part and the animation part, because the animation's done, but now we're working on transitioning like smoothly between live action
that's
and
awesome.
animation.
I'm hoping to take an animation class this next year.
It's crazy. I didn't realize how hard. I mean, I guess I realized how hard animation is, but I didn't realize how many steps go into animation. It's crazy. I've learned a lot, and I've learned to probably never do animation again. But I also said I'd never work with kids again, and then I wrote a kid in this script. So
yeah, how old?
She was great. It's just more of the budget and having to figure it out with SAG, and just working with child actors is always like, it's extra rules, so you have to follow.
That's right.
So when you have a very, very limited budget, it's harder.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely, it would be. Have you taken any of your shorts and entered them into film festivals, anything like that?
Yeah, I have. And honestly, haven't had too much success with some of them, but I think that's because they were longer. Like my last short I did was 20 minutes long, which everyone told me, you shouldn't do a 20-minute short, because usually film festivals like it to be under 10 minutes. And
that's a pilot.
Huh?
20 minutes, that's a pilot.
I know it's long, but I loved it, and it's okay.
That's all right. No, I had the chance to go to Sundance this year, and I was just curious because there's so many shorts that are at Sundance, that people are. It's kind of a neat experience because you get just walking around, you run into so many different people, and everybody there is really creative and talented. So it's a little intimidating too.
Oh, was it that?
I'm
Was
glad
it a good experience?
He's just angry because I didn't take him.
Yeah, Sundance made it right before the wire of all the shutdowns, so I'm glad that Sundance happened this year.
Yeah, it literally, the stuff happened right after we got back.
Yeah. That's what I've been trying to figure out with this short, because it's almost finished, and trying to figure out like submitting to film festivals, because I'm assuming they're gonna be up and running next year, but
you would think. I know some of them are doing doing them online, doing some stuff online, but yeah, you should do that. You're very talented. You should put that stuff out there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Working on it. Got to finish animation.
If I just clip you out, it's like my dad's talking to me like that for the first time.
Oh, now come on. I just got done saying how proud I was of you. You hear what you want to hear. Well, you can always come on here and debut your short on our show. I'm sure the offers will come flooding in.
Don't do that. That's weird. You need a better audience than us.
Oh, come on. We got a good audience.
I'll make sure to send you a private link. That has to be private, though, because all the film festivals,
That's right. That's right. We need to do a film festival.
Yeah, we're starting our own called the Bald Guy and the Hairy Dude.
Look at your future, buddy. See, I was cocky like that too 30 years ago.
I'll tell you
How
what.
long have you guys been doing this show for?
Too long. Absolutely too long.
No, it's been about a year and a half now.
Oh, that's good. That's awesome. That's so cool. I've been thinking about starting a podcast for a while.
Oh, you totally should.
I need a new partner.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
we could team up.
There you go.
What?
I said, there you go.
Yeah,
I can finally retire.
Podcasting since I was 16, and it's never gone anywhere. And then I asked my dad, and it still hasn't gone anywhere.
We've done. We're well over 100 now. We're pros now. You wouldn't know it, but
no, that is an accomplishment.
Yeah,
100 episodes. That's awesome.
It's the hardest part is trying to be consistent with it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Like we were very strict about it all of last year, all the way through the end of the year, and then January, we kind of took a little break, so we were a little sporadic for the month of January. It wasn't as consistent, and then it was difficult getting back on track with that.
Corona.
And then Corona hit, so now we're doing it this way. But I think for me that's been the hardest part is we do half interviews and the other half we have to come up with topics, and that can be difficult too, to come up with good topics. Although it's always a lot of fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun. The only real problem is what was I going to say? This podcast has been such a struggle in general, because it's the first time I've ever had to actually do something with my life.
And although not that young. You're in college. I said, you're not that young. You're in college. Get it together.
Thanks. And then it's been tough because it coincided with some of my mental health issues. And oh my gosh, it's hard to show up, man. It's a nightmare, especially with Dad always texting me. It's awful.
You do a great job.
Look what I've been drawing.
Yeah. See, he's right though, because we're both a little, naturally introverted. and we get nervous easy. So this has been great to help us come out of our shells, but also to work on our nerves just a little bit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Working, I think that's always the greatest thing is to, anything you're afraid of that you should
Gotta
do.
do it.
That means you got to do it.
Thanks for
You're
interviewing.
going to grow.
Yeah. I know you're doing such a good job. You really should do a podcast. You've got a very podcast friendly voice, I think.
Oh, that's good to know. Thank you.
Think if you do it, I'll help you any way I can. That sounds great. Not that
okay.
I'm
Thank you.
not that I'm totally putting myself in there.
But, he's underselling himself because he does all the editing technical stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know how to do that.
He sets it all up.
And I trust you, and I promise I will take it more seriously than my own.
Okay. I know you're gonna have a masterpiece there by the end of this.
Yeah, well,
You're gonna have to put it on your brand new painted wall.
Yeah, what are you doing over there?
I'll show you. This is the one I did when we were doing Belle.
Wow.
Yeah. I just I get nervous, so I draw lines.
Oh my goodness! I guess when we used to do these,
that's good. I actually read an article. It makes you more creative if you're like doodling. It makes you more like open to creativity.
Maybe that's been my problem.
Also, I'm all jumped up on this, so I'm trying to focus on two things at once.
Got it.
Alexa, have you ever done stage work?
Yeah, I've done stage work, and then obviously when I was in acting school, it was all theater.
Yeah.
So I haven't done too much of it though. I've done more film and TV stuff and commercials.
Ooh, you've done commercials. That's
I have.
That's a whole different ball game too.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a mentality.
Love commercials. Commercials are the best. You have the easiest day at work, and then you get paid like 5 times more than you do for anything else. You do.
I think
that's not bad.
There's a bit of a mentality or a prejudice saying that if you can do theater, it's the same as film. Like if you can do theater, you can do the film. But they're very, very different acting styles.
They're very different.
But like for me, I hate theater. I can't do it. It freaks me out. But I think there's something that's being on set. It's an enclosed, safe environment. It's supposed to be safe.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of feel the same. I mean, It's funny. I'm one of those actors. It's like I feel like a lot of actors are like theater. I love theater. I need to do theater, and I don't have as much as that pull. Maybe it's because I come from a production background, but I have more of a pull to just do behind, like and stuff in front of the camera.
I saw that you were working on a movie called Baphomet Mountain. Is that right?
Yeah.
And it caught my attention because Baphomet, this is the nerd in me, but if I remember right, that was the one that the theory was that the Knights Templar worshipped Baphomet. That was like supposed to be like a theory. So I was like, oh, I know that one. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So Baphomet Mountain is kind of the best. I actually just watched it like a month ago, the finished film, and I loved it so much. It's literally one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen in my life. And I was asked to do it from my friend Jeremy in Austin. Jeremy, he was in my first film class, so I've known him for 8 years. Yeah. So, and then he helped me on my last film, so we've always been helping each other. And I was in their film. They asked me to play a woman that thought she was a dog. And it's the weirdest film I've ever seen, and I'm pretty sure it's the weirdest part I've ever played, and it was really fun.
What kind of dog were you?
I was a dog. I was a regular dog, just on all fours.
What kind of question's that?
Well, no, I was wondering, are you a Maltese or you're a poodle?
I was a dog girl. I was a girl who thought she was a dog.
What kind of dog were you?
I was channeling my inner animal.
That had to be fun to prep for.
Oh, it was so fun. Oh yeah, Jeremy. So most of that movie was improvised. It was very much. It was very like made on no money. It took I think 2 years to finish because I mean it's a full feature and they kind of had to film when they can get off work and most of it was improvised. So all he told me was, all right, can you come to set and you're gonna be playing a homeless dog girl. And that's all I got. That's the only information I got. And then I showed up on set, and then that was it.
Excuse me. It says here in the script that I say wolf, but don't you think it would be better to say rough in this situation? No, I know. I'm an actor. You know, I gotta question the lines.
I love that. So where can we watch this movie?
Well, it's being submitted to festivals right now. So, Ooh. Yeah. But
I look for it.
It's awesome. I love it. I don't know. It might be too weird for most film festivals. No,
just reading the script and stuff, and I mean, it's entirely different from this, but the vibe I got was like a Donnie Darko type of movie, something along.
Yeah, so
just kind of weird like that.
Yeah. I like to describe it as it kind of reminded me of Gummo a little bit.
Oh, Gummo, that's a good one.
You ever see Gummo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the 6ix9ine song. Not Gummo that's Gumpy.
That's Gumby.
Oh, you never seen Gummo? It's Harmony Korine.
You need to check that out.
It's good. Gummo, Kids. He does some weird films, but
Kids was another one. Yeah, Kids was out there a little bit.
Yeah. No, I watched Gummo. I couldn't sleep, and I watched it at 3 in the morning, and I literally was like, "What am I doing with my life? What is that?" I'm so confused.
Have you
6ix9ine came up. Okay, hold up.
Have you ever seen his? He did some appearances on David Letterman. Have you ever seen those?
No, but I should.
Oh my gosh, they're like legend. You need to look those up. David
oh my
Letterman.
God. Okay, I will.
I can't think of his name, but you know the one that created those films.
Yeah, he did Spring Breakers, Brett. That's probably the most.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Film done.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, because he disappeared for a while and then he came back with.
Yeah, because he just does what he wants, man.
Yeah, you got to look those up. Those Letterman interviews.
All right, I will.
They're insane.
But my friend Austin, who made Baphomet, like he lived in his car for 2 years, and he's very much just like, I'm gonna submit this to festivals, and if it doesn't get in, whatever. I made this, and it's just this awesome. Weird movie, and I'm just so like just happy for him that he made this awesome movie.
Is he also in it?
Yeah, him and Jeremy are the main characters.
Okay.
Oh, how nice.
And they made that movie together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, that's right up our alley. That's
Actually, so I got 2 questions to ask you. I'm not sure what we're doing. Anyway, I got 2 questions. The first one is, for someone who starts a lot of projects like myself, how do you come around to actually finishing things?
My personality.
Oh, okay. So
I literally will not sleep or eat or think of anything else until it's finished.
Man, I wish I was like that.
Yeah.
And then
like my last movie I did, the one that I'm finishing up right now, I had started it 2 years ago, and then I was trying to get funding for it, and it just never came through, and I kind of lost, like, my soul just was crushed, and I needed to take a break from it, so I did, and then I worked on a pilot, and and then last year it was just gnawing at my brain that I had to get back to it, and things just kind of fell in line, and I got commercial residual money that I didn't expect, and then I was able to make the movie with it, and it all just came together. But since I kind of put it to the side, it was always in the back of my mind.
Oh, okay. All right. So I guess
I think it's healthy to take a break though, and take a step back from projects though, and you got to give them breathing room.
I think my problem is I take a break too soon. Like, there's a page. I guess I should take a month off.
I think you also have to, and I've done this as I've gotten older too, and maybe because my personality, I'm very much an overachiever and feel like I always have to be doing stuff. But now I feel that I want to do stuff because I want to do it, not because I feel like I have to do it.
Okay.
to
All right,
feel
well, 'cause
some
my
like, oh,
goal
like
is to be a
I'm not
business.
successful or I'm not accomplished if I'm not doing this one thing, but
Yeah.
kind of following my intuition a little more.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes me feel a bit better.
Yeah.
So knowing that I'm just not the personality type to finish things, that helps.
Or you just hire people that are those personality types. That's what you got to do.
There you go.
All right, Dad, can I borrow your credit card?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
No, he's really good about sending me everything that he's working on, and it's all really really good. But that's at some point he always stops and starts something else. And I keep
Yeah.
telling him, just hang on to him because it's you'll eventually come back around on him.
Well,
I
it's
think
very
another
frustrating because I feel like I'm a funny person in general. So some of my writing, it try, or at least I'm trying to be funny in it, and then it bugs me that I'm trying to be funny in something I want to be serious. So then I just kind of get discouraged and stop. That's probably my biggest problem is I'm accidentally funny.
I think the best thing is to always write something and know that it's going to be shit the first time you write it.
That's
Thank
right.
you. That helps.
Takes time.
And then you go back into the drawing board because everyone's first draft is always going to be shit unless you're Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I wish I could write dialogue like that guy.
I am starting to feel guilty that I send Dad so many stuff. Maybe I should finish before I send it. I'm sorry, Dad.
No, keep sending. I enjoy it. So, what are you currently working on, Alexa?
Well, I'm trying to finish my movie right now, and then I'm also just trying to acclimate to Atlanta. And
oh, you're right.
Yeah,
you just recently moved there.
Yeah.
Tell people that. Actually, while we're at it, can we just get your address and?
Yeah. Atlanta's pretty big. I think she's safe. What's the title of your movie?
Imperceptible.
Ooh, you want to give us a plot?
Sure. It's about a woman who works in a comic book store who's dealing with the death of her mom, and she suffers from social anxiety, and the way she deals with it is pretending that she's a superhero.
I'm so happy you brought that up because I totally forgot, but I saw pictures of you in a comic book store, and
that's the one.
I'm an old comic book owner. I owned a store back in the 90s, so big comic book fan. And I was like, I have to find out what movie that is because
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
What made you choose the comic book setting?
I love comic books and I love comic book movies, and I just wanted it to, so that's kind of why I did that.
I love that. Yeah, when that gets ready to come out, you have to come back and talk more.
Listen, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm going to. I am a librarian. I know books. I don't really know how I'm going to end that sentence. I just wanted you to know I'm a librarian.
Oh my
it's good to know.
So give us some of the comic books that you enjoy.
I love the Batman comic books, Spider-Man, Watchmen, like some of the darker comics I really love. Yeah.
That's see, you back in the 90s, you would have been a unicorn because there was no women in the comic book stores back in the 90s. That's all relatively recent that's and it's great. I'm so happy that that's happened. But it used to be if you went to a comic convention, it was all guys. There was no actors. There was nobody showing movies, anything like that. It was all writers, inclusive comic book writers and artists, and that was it. And now it's expanded so large, and it's so inclusive. And it's pretty awesome. Do you cosplay at all?
I don't cosplay, no, but I read comics and I watch a lot of comic book movies.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Are we a fan of cosplay? I'm not. I think it's creepy.
I think good cosplay.
I don't think cosplay. I'm also like a diehard Harry Potter fan, but I've never been into like the Harry Potter cosplay or any of that. I think you can be a diehard fan and also.
Yeah. What's your house?
For what? Harry Potter?
Yeah.
A Gryffindor. Duh.
Of course.
Oh, yeah,
Stupid.
she's a Griffin dork. Huh.
And then Slytherin because I feel like it's just a misunderstood house.
Right.
Man.
And then Ravenclaw and then Hufflepuff because like Hufflepuff is kind of.
Yeah.
Here's my question. Yeah. Do you hate Harry Potter as much as I do? The person, not the books. I can't stand him.
What? No. Why?
Oh, he bugs me so much. Everything he does, I hate him for. I think I'm a Hermione fan through and through. I think she is absolutely the main character of those books, or should be.
He has been spouting this nonsense for a year and a half.
I guess I can understand that because she's got the goods to back it up. Like she knows what she's doing, and Harry Potter's he's just kind of there.
I'll also say though, I didn't read them until last year, so maybe
maybe
there's something there. Yeah.
See, I was 11 years old when the first Harry Potter book came out, and then each book came out like the next year. So I literally grew up with Harry Potter.
When did it come out?
I tried with him.
I was 11, so when did it come out? Early 2000s?
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. I was a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were young, but now as you grew up, I tried many times to get you to read those books, and you refused until about a year and a half.
You bold liar.
That is not a lie. That's terrible, Brett.
I guess I can do the outro now if that's what you want.
Oh, 1 second, guys. My legs are
falling asleep. Where are you going? That was awesome. I was like, we've lost her.
My legs are falling asleep.
I guess she's been standing this whole time.
Hey, see that's one of those rare difficulties of podcasting that people just don't understand.
We're sitting for a long time in the same place.
Yeah, there's many times where I've had to stand up and talk, or I don't know. This is a funny story. Never mind.
Well, Alexa, thank you so much for joining us. I don't want to keep you too long, but a couple of quick things. You know, what are you? Do you have anything upcoming that we can see you in?
My movie that I'm finishing. That's kind of.
How many times did you have to say it, Dad?
Yeah, I know. I'm just making sure I didn't leave any stone unturned. You know, because I know how that stuff works. Anything that that hasn't got out there yet, you can't really talk about. So I get that.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess the other question I had is where, if people want to know more about the things that you're working on or more about the acting that you're doing, where can they go to find you?
Well, they can go. I'm not great with social media, but I'm pretty good with Instagram. So yeah, I post a lot of my updates on Instagram.
I'm trying to get better at Instagram.
I'm definitely going to send you an Instagram message.
I feel like it's the safer social media website because the other ones I get like there's just a lot of political posts and.
Oh yeah, you have to filter that.
Like Instagram has little pictures of puppies and.
You're right. It's not as political.
I posted
because it's just photos.
Yeah.
I posted something on our Facebook page or in our Facebook group about the Star Wars prequels and sequels. Like, which one would you rather get rid of?
Oh God,
and,
probably.
In the comments, like it was all nice.
Bloodbath.
Then one of them was like, "Well, if this country wasn't so PC," I'm like, "What?"
That sounds like Facebook.
Yeah. So anyway, I called Dad. I was like, "Hey man, can you stop commenting that?"
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Because
that's
sometimes
how Dad feels. Dad thinks that the world's too PC and that there's only one real race, right, Dad?
Oh my Lord! Stop! No. But we have our own Facebook group, and we really do have to monitor it. We have to approve the posts, and then you really have to monitor the comments because it can get out of control really fast on things that are just innocent.
But
And
sometimes
then you
it's
have to
very
go back.
funny.
Yeah. And some of the stuff they're saying is actually funny, but I'm like, you can't say that. So then,
Anyway, this doesn't matter. You can go home.
we're
It's
just
okay.
having a conversation.
Yeah, no, sorry.
No,
Okay,
I agree. That's why I usually stay off of it.
Yeah. So I don't know if you heard. Brett said he's going to send you an Instagram message. So you've got 3 days to beat Belle because it took her 3 days to respond.
Oh, it probably went in another inbox.
Yeah,
I'm going to give Belle the benefit of the doubt that it went in the other inbox.
That's right.
She's really good about.
Is there 2 inboxes?
Yeah,
well, when you're not friends with the person, then it goes into this like private inbox.
I did not know that.
She's pretty good about answering
learn
messages,
that.
so I'm gonna.
Make friends first.
I'll pick up the pieces of my broken heart.
So I'll check both inboxes.
There you go.
Here's the Alexa picture for today.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Nice.
I love it.
I don't know that.
Oh, it's the best. All right, but before you go, what are you binge watching while you're stuck inside?
Her movie, Dad.
No, other stuff.
I'm actually binge watching. Working on my movie, and I'm also binge watching Ozark.
Oh, everybody's. I've seen the first season, but I haven't started season 2. But
I hadn't watched it, and then I moved to Atlanta, and it shoots here, so I wanted to watch it because I'm trying to manifest myself on the show. So
yeah, you'd be great on that show.
I'm doing some research.
We could see you in the swamp.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. My dad's from Missouri. Like I already have. Come on, already got it down. Takes place in Missouri, even though it's shot in Atlanta.
Well,
you guys wrap this episode up. I think he has to pee.
Okay, I think I also have to pee. So
yeah,
another super nice.
Another problem.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you, Alexa. Please, when you get ready for your movie to come out, please come back.
Okay.
All right, I will. Thank you.
He's gone.
He booked it.
Oh my gosh. All right, Alexa, thank you so much for being on. This is great.
You're welcome. All right,
we
bye.
appreciate you putting up with our nonsense. Bye.
Bye.
Well, so that was our show, and I've lost everybody with me. Brett has run out the door. Alexa has left. So as usual, it's up to me to wrap it up. What just a terrific lady to come on the show and put up with all of Brett and I's nonsense. She was terrific and talented. I'm so impressed with anyone that has the ability to write out their thoughts and their ideas and then turn it into this wonderful creation. And I'm so excited to check out more of her work. So really good, and a very talented actress. So looking forward to seeing her in the future on a lot of upcoming stuff because she's terrific. So thank you everyone for listening and for watching us. Please swing by our Facebook page, MeisterCon. Give us a like there, and we really do appreciate everyone's support. So we'll see you again next time. Bye.